Hello everyone, and in this video we're gonna talk about why do the Illagers hate the villagers so much, and I'm going to reveal the secrets between the two conflicting tribes. What is the real reason behind all this and their full story? Alright, so without wasting your time, sit down and enjoy your popcorn. It is the early 19th century. The two most popular tribes, the Illagers and the Villagers. As we see them today, both tribes' relation has been worsened even more. But if I tell you it wasn't like this before, it was something else. It was the early 17th century. The two rapidly growing tribes, Illagers and the Villagers. Both of them had good relationships. No wars, no such problems. But what happened between the two that we see them here today? In the early 17th century, the Illager tribes were doing trading with the Villager tribe for such supplies like food and blocks. This happened between 16th century to mid-16th until a very horrifying plague happened, wiping out all the animals. The Illagers were very dependent on it. Illagers were also going through food crisis, and the major problem was they didn't know how to farm. Before we talk about this, let's dive into these two tribes' skill assets. The Villagers were very good at technology. They knew how to farm, breed animals, and build shelter for themselves. But they had only one weakness, and that was military strategies. The Villagers didn't know how to fight with mobs and defend themselves. The iron golems didn't have any existence that time, whereas the Illagers were weak in economy. Their only food source was pigs and other animals, and they didn't have any variety of blocks that time, but they were good at military strategies. In the late 17th century, the Illagers lost a lot of people because of the plague, and they had no more gold and emeralds to trade with the Villagers. All of them were accumulated in military logistics, so the Illagers had only two choices now. They went to the Villagers and asked them to decrease the food taxes because of their crisis, but the Villagers refused, and the Illagers were forced to use their second option, and that's raid. The Illagers had no other option than just invade, or else their people will die. So it was midnight at 1 a.m. The Illagers started a raid and pillaged the whole village, and stole all their important resources and wiped out all the villagers and tore down the village with fire. After that, the Illagers had a lot of food. This was enough to keep their people alive. This made them invade another village they knew from a distance and got a bunch more. This went like this for years and even decades, till the beginning of 17th century to 1730s. The Illagers now had a whole bundle of food and had no longer had to worry about it, while the Villagers had no idea how to protect themselves from the invaders. By that time, in 1740s, the Illagers now wanted to make a base where they can live for shelter and a place where villagers won't find them. The Illagers wanted a dark place, full of trees around, and that was the dark oak biome. The trees were big in size and dark. As the Illagers were building their mansion, some villagers spotted them building something from afar, and they knew it immediately that it was the Illager base. They rushed back to the village and made a Illager base map. After that, it spread to every single village. So the base was completed by 1745. The Illagers used variety of blocks like the birch, dark oak blocks, glass, etc. And then they named it the Woodland Mansion. Inside of this mansion, there were a variety of villagers' technology that the Illagers stole, like the blacksmith and the library. After that, the Illagers knew that they had no more villagers around to raid, so all the Illagers made a plan in the mansion to hunt for villagers and build structures like the outposts and spy on them, or send some scouts from the outposts. By 1760s, villagers made a new technology that is so strong that it can kill any mob and Illager. The villagers named it the Iron Golem. The Illagers scouts spotted this. They didn't know what it was until they raided it and lost their first ever raid. The Illagers lost multiple raids by 1760s to 1770s, and it kept going by the late 18s, all because of the Iron Golem, until they made a strategic plan in their mansion to make cages to capture all the Iron Golems and allies. By 1780s to 1785, they captured some of the Iron Golems and found out it was meant to kill all hostile mobs and even Illagers. And they captured allies and noticed they can be turned into monsters as well. Several experiments later, they made their first little flying mob called a Vex by 1790s. So the Illagers planned to capture many Iron Golems as possible and try to transform them into their own little beast. By 18s, after many experiments, they finally transformed the Iron Golem into their own beast called a Ravager. And this can go toe to toe with the Iron Golem. And from that time, Illagers used these beasts in raids as well. And now you know why these two tribes started hating each other so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what video I should make next.